Lesson 7, Grade 3, Mission 5, Exit Tickets. 1. Write the fraction that is not shaded. So I need to look at how many equal pieces there are in total first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 equal pieces, so I know my denominator must be 8. How many of those 8 pieces are shaded? 1. But the question asked me not shaded. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are not shaded. 7/8 is not shaded in the fraction below. Number 2, there are blank sixths in one whole. If I have one whole and it is split into sixths, it means I must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. There are 6 sixths in one whole. The fraction strip is one whole. Write fractions to label the shaded and unshaded parts. How many equal parts are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So I know that both fractions are discussing fourths. How many unshaded fourths are there? There are 3/4 unshaded. So I can see there. And then 1/4 is shaded. Let's move on. Justin mows part of his lawn. Then his lawnmower runs out of gas. He has not mowed 9/10 of the lawn. What part of his lawn is mowed? Show your work. So in your workbook, you may have drawn a picture, a little neater than mine, hopefully. And you would use that fraction there to help tell you what your picture should look like. 9/10 tells us that there are 10 equal pieces together because I look at the denominator. The denominator is always the number on the bottom of a fraction that tells me how many equal pieces there are in total. So I'm going to draw 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I estimated they're not all super equal, but at least I can tell partially what I needed. And it says he has not mowed 9/10. So I'm gonna, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9/10 of that green grass has not been mowed. Needs a good trim. That only leaves 1/10 unshaded. So we could say 1/10 of his, or Justin's, that's his name, his lawn is mowed. Ooh. And you're using your best handwriting in your book and you're not doing it on a computer, so it looks hopefully much neater. Okay, So looking at that, you can always rewind, but I'm going to erase the screen so we can go down to lesson 8, exit ticket. We've already completed the notes with the math chat. Number 1 says, draw a number bond that shows the shaded and unshaded parts in the shape below. Then show each part decomposed into unit fractions. Okay, so a number bond is when we look and we say if we have one whole, that can be represented by different parts. When we talk about fractions, specifically for this example, we're talking about the shaded and unshaded fractions. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. 2 are shaded. So 2/5 are shaded. 1, 2, 3. 3/5 are unshaded. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5/5 would give me 1 whole. That's how I can check my work. But I'm not quite done yet, because then it said, show each part decomposed into unit fractions. A unit fraction is what one piece represents. Each piece represents what? The numerator will always be 1. So if I have 3/5, it's saying I have 3 1/5 pieces. That's 1/5. This is 1/5. Whoop. That's 1/5. And I could even draw that and see that's all, each one of those pieces represents 1/5. So then, what do each of these shaded pieces represent as a unit fraction? They also represent 1/5. 1 is always in the numerator, excuse me, get used to saying denominator, the numerator. It's that top number, it's talking about one piece. Okay, number 2. Complete the number bond. Draw a shape that has shaded and unshaded parts that match and the completed number bond. Okay, so we must complete it first so we know what we're working with. 1 whole in the top, split into 2/7 and a missing fraction. Okay, the denominator stays the same because we're talking about the same amount of equal parts. There are 7 equal parts and we're talking about 2 of them. How many equal parts are we missing to complete the whole? 2 plus what equals 7? 2 plus 5 equals 7. If I draw a picture, I will estimate to draw 5 or partition, split, any of that vocabulary there. 7 equal parts. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I could make them match. For the sake of time, 2/7 will be my shaded, so I will color in 2 equal pieces, and I should have 5 unshaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My work checks out. Let's do lesson 9, exit ticket, next. Scroll past the notes. You'll be at page 39. I'm liking the looks of this chart. Number 1, each shape represents one whole. Fill in the chart. Okay. What is the unit fraction for each shape. So I see that we have these almost like pies. There are 3 equal pieces in each shape. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I know that each shape is split into thirds, and a unit fraction is talking about each piece. This is 1/3, just as each of these pieces represents 1/3 of the whole. The total number of units shaded. I'm just gonna, okay. So we know each piece is 1/3. How many thirds are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 units are shaded. Getting ahead of myself. The fraction shaded then would be 11 thirds. It says number 2. Estimate to draw in shade units of the fraction strips. Solve. 4 thirds. This word thirds tells me that there are 3 equal pieces in each whole. There are 4 that are shaded. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3. In fraction form, this looks like 4 in the numerator and 3 in the denominator. When the number in the numerator is larger than the number in the denominator, it's telling me that there is more than one whole. 3/3 makes up this whole. But to get that 4/3, I need a whole nother whole that has been also split into thirds. Blank equals 10/4. With 4 in the denominator, I know that each piece or whole has been split into fourths. I'm doing my best to partition or split each whole into equal parts, equal fourths. Then I know that there are 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It could be written as 10. Oops, I'm just gonna write underneath because my my screen was a little too big. Well, for all that work we've done, let me still write that out. Unit form, it would be 10 fourths. Thank you for joining me for these 3 exit tickets. Check out my next video for the next